icLAAo, I can't lose. No reality where I lose. Ever. Today is Saturday, August 15th, day 226 of the 100 push-up, 100 squat progressive challenge for a year. We're in the month of August, halfway through the month of August. So we're doing 170 push-up, 170 squat for the rest of this month. Then for September, we're doing 180 push-up, 180 squat every single day for that month. Let's go.
This guy blocks my words. Even all the time I went to that pediatrician. Whoa, Stewie, you're getting to be a big boy. I think somebody's going to be a football star. Oh, you. Oops, I got you, Charlie. Be right back. Oh, David, you're getting to be a big boy. I think somebody's going to be a football star. I can't believe I fell for that lie. I'd actually let myself believe I could be a doctor's wife. That's Stewie, silly and fat.
I'm sure this all must be very overwhelming.
I just don't know what to do with this information. I spent my whole life as a Christian.
I'll tell you what you should do with it. Absolutely nothing. That's the problem with this world. Too many people go overboard with what they believe. Like Quagmire, when I thought he was the one getting the spin-off.
See you later, bitches. A bunch of your stupid goddamn giant chicken jokes and your Conway quit.
Hey, why is there a moving truck outside Clean's house? Well, I wouldn't put it quite like that, but essentially, Brian's right. Being Jewish doesn't really have to change you or your family's life.
I guess you're right. There's no reason things should be any different around here.
Shalom, Jews.
Wow, Dad, where did you get all that glistening chest hair?
It came with my Star David. Everyone from now on, our lives will be better. We'll be healthy, our sons will become doctors, and we'll be in charge of charities so we don't have to contribute to them.
I'm offended by that, and I'm not even sure.
You know, what is all this?
Well, this is my way of letting you know that I'm embracing who you are. Oh, and I don't respond to Peter. From now on, I want you to use my people name.
Well, I caution you, that becoming Jewish doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that involves spiritual education and good works.
So what you're saying is that it happens overnight?
Look, Peter, I'm the one with the Jewish heritage, and I really don't want to make a big deal out of this.
Leave it to a Jew to take all the fun out of being a Jew. Now listen up. I like your hat and I like the sky, so we're doing this. Kids, from now on, this is where we'll celebrate the Sabbath.
Peter, this is all unnecessary. Our life was fine the way it was.
Check it out, I'm one of you guys now, huh? I'm Jewish. Yeah, hot, number one.
Look at all these short, hairy bits. The police and officers Rust and Lynch are sent to the scene shortly after. The two men take their time. Rust doesn't see any urgency.
It's the 4th of July and there's kids out there shooting firecrackers.
But he's wrong. Not acting on the call immediately is a mistake. If they had, the shooter probably would have driven right by them. Shortly after, a man places a call to the Vallejo Police Department. His voice is even and consistent. His words sound rehearsed.
I want to report a double murder. You go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway to the Public Park. You'll find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye.
Then the man hangs up. Pacific Telephone will later trace the call to a public payphone. The booth is located right in front of the Vallejo Sheriff's Office. It's also within sight of Darlene's little greenhouse. Darlene's friends and family also report having received strange calls that night. All they could hear was deep, heavy breathing. At the hospital, Darlene is declared dead on arrival. Mike pulls through, and it won't be long until the killer strikes again. The man sits alone in a room, writing letters. He uses a blue felt-tip pen to compose 3 nearly identical texts. One of them reads,
First, girl was wearing patterned slacks. 2, the boy was also shot in the knee. 3, brand name of ammo was Western. To provide I shall state some facts only I and the police know.
The paper measures 18 by 25 centimeters, or 7 by 10 inches. It's a unique format the man will return to again and again. It'll become unmistakably associated with his letters.
Christmas. First, brand name of ammo, Super X. 2, 10 shots were fired. 3, the girl was on his back with his feet to the car. 4, the girl was on her right side, feet to the west.
The handwriting drifts downward as it crosses the page, and it's quite distinct. The letter N is small and edgy. The R resembles a check mark.
Finally sealed off. The police's approach shifted from a kidnapping investigation to a murder case. Commenting on this, the Boulder Police Chief, Mark Beckner, said, "Yes, the crime scene was not handled properly, and this later affected the investigation. Throughout the morning, police struggled to gain detailed information from the Ramsey family. Basic questions about the night before, the state of the windows and doors, and a description of John Benet's pajamas were discussed. But the responses were often vague or incomplete, complicating the initial investigation. The initial failures in preserving the crime scene continued to haunt the investigation, leaving more questions than answers in this case." Let's examine the evidence carefully, starting with the autopsy report. Given the extensive evidence accumulated over several years, and to keep the length of the video short, I'll present certain details exclusively in written form within the video. Feel free to pause at any point to read these segments. The autopsy was performed by Dr. John Meyer at the Boulder County Coroner's Office and revealed her cause of death as asphyxiation due to strangulation, coupled with head trauma. Evidence from the autopsy indicates she was alive at the time of the strangulation and showed signs of having struggled against her assailant. According to the report, no alcohol or drugs were found in her system. John Benet was wearing 2 layers of underwear. The inner layer was stained with urine and blood, and the outer, longer layer showed urine stains. Blood was found on the following items. DNA testing appeared to indicate that all blood evidence belonged to John Benet. There was intermingled DNA with John Benet's blood spots on the panties. Investigators wanted to know if SA had occurred, and based on the findings, it didn't seem to be the case, especially by conventional standards. The significant bruising, lacerations, physical trauma, and injuries typically associated with an assault by an adult male were not observed. However, some non-penetrative actions occurred. Some wood fragments from the paintbrush used to create the garrote were found in John Benet's private area. Evidence suggests that she was assaulted while she was still alive. Over time, some have suggested that this behavior could be attributed to a child's exploratory actions. Evidence indicated the perpetrator pulled down the underwear worn by John Benet. The assault occurred. The underwear was then put 26th. At least 7 windows and a door were found open. Several ground-level windows, including a window well with a removable grate that led to 3 basement playroom windows, were easily accessible. This particular window well was concealed at the back of the house. Initially thought to be shattered, further examination revealed that the window was cracked along the edges and missing a piece of glass, allowing enough space for someone to potentially reach in and unlock it. There was clear evidence of a disturbance in the window well area. Leaves and white styrofoam packing peanuts typically found in the well had been moved to the sides of the center window sill. Additionally, green foliage was discovered tucked under the movable grate, suggesting that it had been recently opened and closed. Similarly, a leaf and white styrofoam packing peanuts, identical to those found in the window well, were located in the wine cellar. Additionally, Boulder police experiments demonstrated that it was possible for a person to enter the basement playroom through the center window. Intriguingly, no identifiable fingerprints were found on the broken window. Despite employing cyanoacrylate fuming methods to reveal any latent fingerprints, the forensic team found none. Directly beneath this window, a suitcase was discovered with a shard of glass from the window pane underneath it. Retired Detective Lou Smith speculated that the attacker might have intended to use the suitcase to either kidnap John Benet or move her body out of the house, but it wasn't possible. The basement window had been previously broken by John Ramsey during a lockout incident. Outside this window, investigators discovered a spider web on the window well grate. Spiderweb strands connecting the window well to the grate were intact, indicating that the grate had not been lifted. A likely scenario, since this particular species of spiders does not build webs in winter due to inactivity. Additionally, climbing through that window would require sitting on the sill, which would disturb the dust and dirt there. However, these were found undisturbed, further suggesting that the window was not used for entry on the night of the murder. The morning temperature was 9 degrees, with a light dusting of snow having fallen overnight. An early arriving Boulder police officer noted that his steps on the driveway and sidewalks left no visible footprints. Therefore, a person walking along these paths would not have left any footprints. In the basement, several recent unidentified shoe prints were discovered imprinted in mold growing on the floor. Notably, a shoe print bearing the high-tech brand mark on its sole was found approximately 3 feet from John Bennett's body. The print, imprinted in both dust and mold, appeared relatively fresh due to its clarity and detail, and it featured distinctive tread patterns with a zigzag design, typical of